Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here, and today we're going to do the full review on the LG V20. I'm sure in the past you've seen my other coverage on the V20, but now it's time to talk about my final thoughts of the device. I've had lots of hands-on time with the camera, the software, and other various features of this device, including that second screen. So let's go ahead and get started. Now to begin, I want to go ahead and talk about design of the LG V20. It's a little bit different than you're used to on most devices because you can actually take off the back, which is not very common anymore in smartphones, and that's kind of a bummer for some people. But on the LG V20, you can, and as you can see, I took the back plating off, and it reveals a removable battery along with a micro SD card slot as well. So two big things that are big selling points in terms of this device. Now, if you're wondering how that mechanism actually works, there is a button on the side that you just simply press, and it loosens the back piece, and you can go ahead and pull off that back plating. Now, it's very simple to pop back on. All you have to do is just push all the corners in, and it goes ahead and locks back into place. Haven't had any issues with it falling off accidentally. It does align well to the rest of the phone. So overall, design of this back plating is very good. On the back of that device, you have a dual 16 megapixel camera. Talk about that more in a second, along with the fingerprint scanner. And that actually couples as a power button as well. So you can actually push in on this, and that is the power button. Now on the back of the device, you have that dual 16 megapixel camera. More on that to come in a second. LED flash, laser autofocus, and you have a fingerprint scanner. Now this fingerprint scanner also couples as the power button as well. So if you press it, it turns on the display, and you can press it again, and it's going to turn off the display. Now you can go ahead and actually set your finger on it without pressing the button, and it can also unlock the device. Down at the bottom it just says V20. Now flipping it to the bottom of the device, you'll see you do have your bottom firing speaker, and in terms of quality, I would say it is above average in terms of the amount of sound that comes out of it and the quality of the sound. However, it is bottom firing and only a single speaker, so that is a downside to the device at this point in time. You have USB Type-C slot for charging and data transfer, a microphone, and a headphone jack. And this headphone jack is the best one you can get out right now. It has a quad DAC, B&O Play certified, and sound out of this headphone jack is fantastic. Here's a look at the top of the device. Also make note of that little camera bump that is out the back, because there is one, is a microphone along with an IR blaster. You guys know how much I do appreciate a company including an IR blaster in the device, and finally there is a Flagship that has one. Now on the left side of the device, you'll notice on the left side of the device, you have your two volume rockers, which are very premium feeling. However, they're a little close together, so sometimes I find myself accidentally pressing both of them at the same time. Now, you'll notice the display is flat. However, there's a little bit of a curvature going up to that display where that earpiece is. Moving along down, and you have a symmetry down towards the bottom where it kind of curves down off that display as well. If we can go ahead and flip it on over, that's where you take off the back plate. No other buttons, because that power button is actually on the back of the device. Now some of you might be asking, with the power button on the back, what do you do if your phone is sitting on the table and you want to go ahead and check your notifications, for example? You can actually double tap the display and it does turn it on, and that's a very great feature of this device that I don't think a lot of people really appreciate. And you can also, with their stock launcher, double tap the display and it turns it off as well. So the double tap to wake and double tap to sleep is a nice addition. And of course, in terms of that fingerprint scanner, it's very accurate, very quick as well. They're getting to a point where all flagship devices, fingerprint scanners are fantastic. Now, I also found that I got used to actually, instead of double tapping the screen, I would touch the power button with the fingertip of my pointer finger to actually turn the display on, and I got pretty good at that. So that's just one way that I go about doing that. But when you unlock it, nice, you do not have to actually press the button. You just set your finger on it and it'll unlock the device. Moving along, I'd like to talk about display on the LG V20, and it has a 5.7-inch 1440p IPS LCD display, along with a second screen up at the top. More on that in just a second. But now in basic terms of quality, in terms of the color and just the way that it looks, overall, I do like this display. Now, personally, I prefer AMOLED over LCD, and that's just a personal preference. You actually might like LCD a little bit better. Now, when it comes to viewing angles, they are very good. Could be a little bit better, and then outside, brightness could be a little bit better as well. I feel like it could have gotten just a tad bit brighter. I guess this is in terms of comparing with the AMOLED display in the S7 Edge. That gets so bright, and viewing angles are great as well. But again, that's AMOLED versus LCD. So this would be the LCD display on the V20. Now, an option that you do have with Android 7.0 Nougat, which this device actually comes with, and I'll talk about that more a little bit later when I get to software, is the option to actually change the size of the display. So this is actually the size, the display size now is the default display size. However, with Nougat, you can actually change it. So you'll see, I go ahead and always bump it down to the smallest, and then of course it adds more on the screen. So you'll see more settings are displayed, icons are a little bit smaller, so if you do go to your app drawer, you can view more just in terms of on the screen. A couple other notable display options, one being comfort view, where you can go ahead and reduce the blue light on the device for less eye strain, and then you can also customize these home touch buttons and add specific ones as well. So notifications you can pull down, you can add Q Slide Capture Plus. Q Slide is bringing up a list of quick shortcut apps, and of course you can customize those as well. You can rearrange them to your liking. You can change the color from white to black as well, so I go ahead and hit OK, and then you'll see the background is now black. And you can also choose to hide these home buttons. So what that does is, if you're in a specific app that you like it being in full screen and you do not want these buttons down at the bottom, you can go ahead and turn that on. It'll automatically hide them like it does when you do go into full screen. There's also a quick one-handed mini view where if you swipe on these home touch buttons down at the bottom, you can go ahead and make the screen a little bit smaller. You can customize the size of it as well. And then of course you can use your phone like normal. Just in this smaller screen, if you press the X, it's going to go ahead and expand it again. Now next I'd like to talk about this second screen, and as you can see up here I have a signature, you have quick shortcuts to apps, you can swipe over, and recent apps, so you can quickly swap between your recent apps that you've used. You see, let's go ahead and jump back into settings, and then of course you can show it when your main screen is on, when main screen is off, and this is where you get into your customization. So you can add a signature, quick tools, you'll see a music player as well, which I use all of the time. Quick contacts as well, you can turn those on. See upcoming plans, you can turn that on as well. And you can customize the order, you can just kind of rearrange, bump that up and down. Now going back, tapping on when main screen is off, you can have a default screen. You can also have quick tools as well up at the top where you customize if you want the flashlight to be there, Wi-Fi. I use Wi-Fi and flashlight and Bluetooth now all of the time. Now, one thing I use my phone for a decent amount is play games and also listen to music at the same time. And you'll see I have Spotify running right now, and I don't even need to exit out of a full screen app. I don't need to swipe down on the notification tray. I can just play pause from here and also go ahead and skip songs as well. So that's how I utilize the second screen a lot. Now, another great way to use that second display is when you get notifications. You'll see I just installed an app without having to swipe down the notification bar. Let me know what happened if I get a text message, maybe a message through WhatsApp or something like that. It's great that they just pop up there. You can actually tap on it and it's going to go into that app as well. Now, I also want to point out that with the second display, there is some light bleed that comes down from the second display down to that first display. It's very difficult to show on camera right now, but there is some for those of you that were asking. It's not a deal breaker by any means, but just wanted to point it out that that second screen does bleed a little bit because, of course, it is an LCD display. The LG V20 has a 3200 milliamp hour removable battery, and battery life has been very good. I have consistently gotten around 4 hours and 20 minutes screen on time, so that's about the average for me, so it does get me through the day. Anything over 4 hours screen on time to me is above average. And of course it does have quick charge 3.0 as well, so it charges very fast. Now next I want to go ahead and move along to the dual 16 megapixel rear camera on the LG V20, which also does have optical image stabilization along with laser autofocus as well. Loading up the camera app, it is consistently quick, have no issues with it taking a lot of time to load up. To snap a quick picture, you can focus and snap a picture. Shutter lag is very great as well. Now let's talk about some of the cool features. Now, the wide angle option is one of my favorites, of course, utilizing that dual camera on the back. So here is normal mode, and then we can go into that wide angle mode and see how much more actually gets into the shot. Now I'll talk about some example shots in just a second, but moving along I want to talk about a couple other features. One being that second display. It adds a lot of great functionality into the camera app. You'll see it says auto manual and manual video as well, so you can quickly swap between auto mode and manual mode, and the manual mode on the LG V20 is the best out there on any smartphone. And not only is it the best when it comes to taking pictures, but also when you're taking videos as well. And you'll see with it lets you know sound left versus right lets you know what specific quality you have right now. You'll see white balance, focus, ISO, all that good stuff in terms of video quality and video recording. So if you record a lot of videos, this is going to be the best camera on any smartphone just due to this software integration and just the quality in general. The quality is very good. Now there's a bunch of various modes as well, including slow-mo, time-lapse, panorama. There's also pop-out mode, which you can actually add a fisheye effect or a lens blur effect as well to this pop-out mode. You can change the shape of the pop-out as well. So just some customization options that you do have. And then of course when you switch to that front-facing camera, you can actually also do a more wide angle as well. So if I switch with more people involved, if I'm just taking a selfie versus a group of people, you'll see it adds a lot more in terms of field of view. Now here's a picture I shot. I was at a Michigan football game in the stadium, and this is with out the wide angle mode on. Now you'll see how much it actually did capture. However, check out how much more it captures when you have that wide angle mode on it. This is a really cool picture, at least to me. Captures just about almost everyone in the stadium. You got a bit of a sun coming in the corner, some sweet view at the sky, and also of course the field as well. So there are scenarios where it really does come in handy, and that dual lens option is actually a great option. Here's a couple pictures that I also took. Just standard mode, point and shoot, really didn't tweak any of the settings or anything, and overall they all turned out great. Now these are good lighting scenarios as well. I just honestly think this takes a lot of great shots. You'll see you have a very dark side and a bright side as well, so exposure did a fairly good job with this as well. It's a very low light shot, and in terms of quality, it looks okay. It did get a little grainy as expected, but overall it does a good job as well. I just think overall the camera performs very well. This of course focused on the lighting of the fire, but you still get a little bit of detail on that top log. I did hear that there are some complaints about low lighting on this device, but I really don't have any. I think that it is definitely above average in low light. It's not the best in low light, but still does the job for me. Moving along, I want to talk about performance and some specs. Now it has a Snapdragon 820 processor along with 4 gigabytes of RAM. And right away, I'm going to say that performance is great whether you're doing some high-end gaming, whether you're doing a lot of multitasking. Basic tasks run very well. There's very little lag whatsoever. So I've been very pleased with performance on this device. Now I'm going to go ahead and attempt to multitask. So I go ahead and press the recent apps button, and multitasking is very quick as well. At least this screen is very not themed in terms of it does have a very stock Android look to it. If I quickly swap between various apps, let's go ahead and open up the camera app. You see that loaded up fairly quickly as well. I'm going to go ahead and go to recent apps again. Let's go back to that table tennis app. Seems to be working just fine. Didn't run out of memory. And let's go to the calculator. Let's jump back. And you'll see it is supporting my theory that using it as a daily driver and just real world performance has been excellent. Now that allows me to transition into software on the device. Now it uses LG's UX 5.0, and I talked about a few things such as that second screen. You talked about these soft touch buttons down at the bottom, and there's a bunch of other customizations. So swiping down, you'll see you have your quick shortcuts. It does have some Nougat, a Nougat look and feel in terms of animations. There's that hi-fi quad DAC as I mentioned, and of course you can customize all of these and also the look of all of them. You'll see a file sharing and screen sharing as well. Jumping into settings, this is themed, as you can tell. Now let's jump into theme, and you have a bunch of various options. So here's pre-installed ones, black, bold, high contrast as well, but you can also download them via LG Smart World. Now adding a theme on this device allows you to customize the icons and other various features of the OS in terms of coloring. It should usually give you some screenshots, etc. I found that this LG World is actually very slow in terms of navigating through it and downloading pictures. Just downloading various themes as well is very slow. Now, I don't necessarily say you get the options that you'd like to through the theme world, but overall, I do like high contrast because that allows you for more of a dark theme. Now you'll see it does have an orange as well, but I'm going to apply it real quick just to kind of show you guys how much it actually does theme the device. Now you'll see it didn't take very long at all. You added a new wallpaper just in all black. You can customize that individually if you'd like to. See, none of the apps really did get themed, none of the stock apps. Now we can go ahead and swipe down, and you'll notice those quick settings really did get themed in terms of that orange and black. We can jump into settings as well, and you'll see just all completely themed, a nice dark theme to it. Of course, it does have those orange accents, however. So while you can theme it, it really doesn't allow as much customization to the specific theme that I like. I wish you could just say, I want a dark mode, I want an accent color of blue as opposed to orange. But it does allow for theming, and it does allow you to download various ones so you can kind of go around and find ones that you specifically like. Now, right out of the box, you get Android 7.0 Nougat, which is really great, and good job LG, because a lot of manufacturers really haven't updated their devices yet. So you'll see it is on Android 7.0 right now. Now, when it comes to that, it does have a multi-window function, which other devices did already. You press this icon right here, and you'll see you can open up a separate app, 2 apps at once. It's very smooth, works very well swapping. You can kind of change the size of the specific apps as well. And then of course you can go ahead and press X. It's going to close out of one of them. Now you can also press and hold that recent apps button, and it's going to activate this as well. So it does have that integrated. Works fairly well, works along as performance-wise along with the rest of the device. It's very smooth, very quick. Now there are some other features to the OS that they have added. Now when your display is off, you can go ahead and double tap volume down, and it's going to quickly open up that camera, which allows you to access it very quickly. You can also double tap the volume up button, and it's going to go ahead and open up a quick memo that you can type something, a phone number, maybe a quick memo for yourself as well, all with the device locks. You do not need to unlock your device to do those. Something else a lot of people asked was that, oh, LG actually got rid of their app drawer button, and you'll see right now they did not get rid of it. It's just a setting you have to change. So you can jump into settings and go ahead and go to where it says home screen and select home, and now you have home and app drawer, which you can change to, and then you have home, which is actually the one with all of your apps on your home screen, which I personally don't like. I prefer to have an app drawer, so that is easily changed via home screen right there. Now there are smart settings as well, where if you're at home, away from home, you can choose to do things such as turn Wi-Fi on and off, maybe change your volume on and off. I have when earphones are plugged in to open Spotify, so if I want to listen to music, I go ahead and do that. And then of course when Bluetooth is connected, you can open up an app as well. Overall, I would say LG does a better job at keeping it fairly stock. They do customize some apps, some other various features of the OS as well. But overall, it doesn't slow down the OS, which is a nice addition, because a lot of times when they add a bunch of features, it slows down the device. The LG V20 does not get slowed down. All right, just want to go ahead and give some final thoughts on the LG V20. And it is great that they have chosen a design where you can remove the battery and also add a micro SD card as well. That's not very commonly found anymore in flagship devices, so LG fills that void. So if you need a couple of those things, then definitely go for this device, because I have very little to complain about. I've enjoyed my time with it. I see myself using it long term as well. Performance has been very good. Battery life above average. The camera's great as well. It just hits all of those features that you look for in a flagship device and does a very good job as well. Now, of course, they do have their skin over Nougat, so you kind of have to deal with that. That single firing speaker down at the bottom could be better. You could get stereo sounds as well. However, that headphone jack definitely makes up to it for it. If you listen to a lot of music via headphones, its quality is great. Really just no distortion at all. It's awesome. But anyways, that would be my full review of the LG V20. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, click that thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel as well. Lots more videos to come. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it.